Hello and welcome back to the RaidzBank podcast. My name is Hoyt. I'm joined here by my awesome co-hosts Heartless and Poplo. How are we?
Hello.
Yo, well. Good.
Good. And today we're going to be walking through some updates and also get into some kind of raids advice, questions. First piece of advice, don't take raids advice from Hoyt. But Poplo and Heartless and we're just going to chat on that later in the episode. But we do want to start out with some clan shoutouts. So big shout out to Fiber on his very first quiver. Round of applause.
Nice, yeah, huge for Mr. Fiber.
Oh yeah, and Mr. Shane / Rudity got his Radiant Oath plate.
On the iron.
Yeah, on the iron.
On the Iron Man.
The iron.
Absolute beast.
Nice. So,
congrats, guys. That's like
beastly community. And again, one day I will join you for a victory lap. Especially Fiber's been making me look bad. He's maxing, getting his Infernal Cape. Always just a few steps ahead.
Fun fact, Rude IT, Shane and I met. He's also a teacher, and I know him in real life. We met at work, which was crazy. The only person I've ever met who plays RuneScape in real life.
That is crazy.
Wow.
And I was teaching a grade 1 class. I know. It's not ideal, but I had to take what I had to take at the time. And I was sitting there mining amethyst on my lunch, as you do. As a grade 1 teacher, you know? And he came in from next door, he was subbing, and he was like, oh, yo, can I have lunch with you? And I was like, yeah, sure. And you don't see too many men in elementary school, so it was like nice to catch up with another dude. So we were chit-chatting about it, and he's like, yeah, I usually teach high school, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he's like, yo, you playing a game? I was like, yeah, I'm playing a game. But you know about old school? Feel a little embarrassed sometimes to tell people about it. But he's like, yo, what are you playing? I'm like, I'm playing Old School RuneScape. He's like, no fucking way. I play that game too. I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
That's sick. And at the time, he was grinding Grotesque Guardians on the account, and he was like 3K in or something. So I was like, okay, this guy games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But now his Iron Man is more stacked than mine, and that was his main at the time, so. Pays to have that enhanced seed for your account, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he's a super nice guy. He's even come over and we ran 11 Toas right next to each other at a desk during a bingo. It was a good time. One of my favorite RuneScape memories, honestly.
Send the kids out for recess.
Yeah, my fiance took a picture of us. We had like our burritos on the side and we were just grinding Toa.
Nice.
It was pretty crazy. But yeah, that's the second time I've got to game right next to someone. It's a good experience with RuneScape. Another clan member actually came up once and visited me, and we hung out and did some necks together. God of Thunder and I. So also super fun. Great memories.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I recently had the same encounter where I saw in the office one of my coworkers chopping some trees on his phone, and I was like, no way, I recognize that. Screw that mobile screen anywhere. Anyways, we get to talking, and it was one of those things where he's like, yeah, I'm pretty beastly, pretty good, and all right, so let me see your account, talking to him, and he's like 2,000 total level, which is respectable, definitely.
Yeah,
but then he's like, oh yeah, what kind of account do you have? I'm like,
and boom.
I'm a max main, and had to break it to him that way. And he's like,
max main grandmaster in the sweatiest PVM clan.
I didn't really go into all of it, but I whipped out the group iron on mobile and showed him. This is the account that I've been playing.
You hid the main?
I mean, I told him. I didn't tell him the username, but I showed him my 1,300 total group Iron Man. So, I didn't want to flex that hard, man.
I mean, you would absolutely crushed him. He would have been devastated.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't want to do that.
Poplo swinging his big dick around in the office.
Oh my gosh.
Very
top dog.
Wonder why he's wearing such baggy pants.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's got his Grandmaster helm in there.
He's got his Gmail strapped.
Yeah, there's just a slight little disappointment when, like, I wanted you to hopefully at least be doing some raids or something by this time. But anyway, or when I was talking to him, not by this time, but hope he was at least doing some raids, but no, just chopping some trees, doing some skilling. So, fair enough. He'll get there. I'll teach him.
I remember I had a job. This was back in 2018, 19-ish. I had just started. I had just got my fire cape, and I was talking to my manager who was like a few years older than me, and I figured he might know like Old School, or maybe he saw me like clicking on something. He played mobile games, so anyways, he tells me, oh, like my friend plays Old School, but he really plays. And again, I had just got my fire cape, so I was really like, I had figured the game out a little, but I was probably like 1,300 total or something. And he goes, yeah, my friend has like multiple 99s. And I just started calling bullshit. I was like, dude, there's no way he's got multiple 99s. Like, he's lying. Because in my brain, I was like, this, that is so hard to get. There's no way that just your average guy is going to have like 4, 5, 6, 99 skills. And, little would I know that years later I'd be, 22, 70 almost. So it's really funny. But I just remember like immediately thinking this guy was lying to me because I couldn't understand it.
And now you became the master. The student has become the master.
Well, back in 2007, if you had a skill cape, you were a Chad.
Oh yeah,
even if it was cooking or fletching. Like, I remember my friend got like the magic skill cape because he like botted alking, but he was still a Chad. I was like, dude, you have a cape. That's like crazy.
Oh yeah, let alone like prayer
if you got
or
it trimmed.
crafting.
Woo! Oh my gosh, yeah.
Man.
I mean, that's crazy. But that's beautiful. I think that's all the clan shoutouts we had. We should go into what we've been up to. So, Poplo, do you want to tell us about your group Iron Man you're just sharing? Anything new this week?
Not too much of updates. I have been AFK crabbing, so shooting gem crab. I just got 70 range today. So gonna get some moonlight moth mixes and go do fire cape this weekend. That should be pretty fun. I'll probably use like the sunlight crossbow, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that's it.
So I'll probably use one of those and just go in and shoot the stuff and hopefully don't die. Otherwise, yeah, just been keeping up on birdhouse runs and not too much has changed since last week. So went back on the main and did a little bit of Temperos. Did another 500 permit opening, and I pulled Dragon Harpoon number 5. Which, if you don't know, it's the same rate as the pet. So I've hit the pet chance 5 times while being at that stupid boss. So, yeah,
could have been
disheartening. But
maybe
I'll save up 1,000 next time or something. That's normally around 500 is like all I can manage. Then I'm like, oh man, I just gotta crack these. Like itching to crack those reward pools.
That's impressive. You can I used to just pull after every game.
Yeah,
but
I'll pull after every session.
Yeah,
okay.
1,000? You're crazy,
man.
There's also a guy who got 2 bloodhound pets because he stacked them so long.
Yeah,
that's true.
The stacking master.
Maybe I'll just stack them for a year. pull 15,000 at once and then still not get it.
The regret when you get it and you're like your 5th pull.
Well, it's to the point where I'm like, it doesn't matter, dude. I'll stack up 1,000 and I still won't get it. I can stack up 3,000, I probably won't get it. It's like past the point of despair.
You gotta believe.
Oh no,
it'll happen. I felt a little tinge of belief in those 500. Like, yeah, this is feel good. And then the Dragon Harpoon was like just a kick in the pants.
I feel like on those ultra long dry grinds, which you've had a few of, we've all had a few of those where you're like, between 5 and 8x or something like that. Anything over that becomes like pretty implausible. It's possible. I think you can get up to like, I don't know, when you're going past 11x, it's just so incredibly rare. But anyways, when you're in those deep grinds, you get these ebbs and flows of, is this, I'm really motivated to grind, like I really want the item or like whatever it is. For me, it was the Eye of the Duke. And then there's other times, log in, 1 kill, boom, I'm done. I'm out. See ya.
Yeah, exactly.
Log in a few days later. It can be tough on the long grinds.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely tough.
I think everyone gives up around 3 or 4x, and then you're just in it to like out of curiosity.
Yeah,
That's true.
How dry could I possibly get?
At some point, the
definitely not
mentality
that
has
high
to
yet.
be like, this is funny. We just keep going.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
But
this
around
is just getting
2x,
ridiculous.
you're still just mad.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
where
yeah,
I'm at right now.
Dude,
is on
people get
2x.
mad at 1x. You're like, I hit the drop rate. I'm
True.
done. Kill
Yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly.
Put me out of
I'm
my
out.
misery already. Finally. I
People-
finally got the drop. Oh, finally.
Yeah.
People
So-
hit right and call themselves dry, which is a whole other topic. It's not wrong, but it's also not right. It's like, dude, you're 1.2 times rate. Shut the fuck up.
Here comes
Stop it.
elitist Hoyt to
Yeah.
tell people when and
Yeah, that's
can
right.
and can't complain.
It's not elitist, it's just math.
Go. Mathematic Hoyt put
It's
his
just
little
math.
Read a
elitist math
textbook.
cap on.
Well, technically, only 66% of people get
Oh.
the drop button.
You can see his front two teeth slowly sliding down.
I just adjusted my glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just about to hit 2x rate, which is not that bad, but it's like 80 or 90 hours to hit pet rate, so it is a long slog. At
Yeah, the mini-
temporal.
No, that's
the-
bad. That's bad.
The mini games are a whole different beast, aren't they, when it
Yeah.
comes to pets?
But I'm not
Best
complaining, so
content in the
Hoyt
game.
doesn't yell at me.
That's true.
Anyways, that's all for me.
Very good, Heartless. How's agility?
It's been it's been tough to get time in this week. I started back up at school. This is the first full week teaching the class, so kind of had to
Nice.
get a lot of work in. Stay a little later than I would have liked. There's like some meetings and things I had to go to. But yeah, it's been good. I have a nice crop this year, as Poplo would say.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Last year I had a tough group, like a tough mix of like families and kids and personalities. But this year they seem really nice. Also, we had this last year. There was this whole crazy thing. I know we're supposed to be talking RuneScape, but this is slightly interesting, I guess. But last year there was I used to teach in a portable, and they took the portable
Mhm.
away and put up this like prefabricated building, which is a lot better. It just come up really nice, and it has sinks and washrooms, things that the portable didn't have. But
good.
the construction, as you know, I'm sure anyone who works in construction who listens, things never run on time. So we were like 4
Nope.
months. We were 4 months late. So my portable got taken 2 months before the school year ended, and then so I had to teach in the library for 2 months, and then they said, "Oh yeah, it'll be ready by September." I drove by during the summer, not a soul working. So, anyways,
Oh, no.
it ended up being ready in November, so 2 months late. So I was in the library for like 4 months. It kind of sucks starting the year. It's not so bad ending the year there, but starting the year up in like a non-classroom is just like hard to get the routines down. So this year has been a lot easier, and everything has gone smoothly, and I feel like I'm finally in my groove. So yeah, man, it's been good. So I just been chipping away at the agility when I can, try to get a little bit of XP. I'm very close to 98 now, and then I'll try and push through this month. Hopefully, it might be another month until I max, and then we'll see what's next up on the grind list.
Nice.
Very
Well,
nice.
Yeah. What about you, Hoyt? What's been the moves this week?
I feel like I've always been saying this, but haven't played a ton either. I had a wedding that was out of town, and it was just 3 days straight in a big Airbnb, like partying with my old college friends. So it was awesome,
Nice.
but there's no progress being made, which is good. You gotta live. But that's kind of exhausting too. You get back and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to play, but I'm so tired. So I've done a bit of wilderness bosses. I started Ardio, and dude, Ardio and Callisto, they don't mess around, man. That's like, it's not as brain off as like Vedion.
They're the most brutal of the three for sure.
Yeah, it's fun because it's engaging, and I haven't, knock on wood, I haven't really been, also I probably shouldn't knock on wood on podcasts in the future, note, but they, no, I haven't been jumped by any PKers that much, but you have to switch, you have to freeze, and there's an animation stall, so you gotta like keep track of its true tile, and if it gets in melee range, you're gonna get hit pretty hard, and I'm sure it's just a learning curve, but I was kind of surprised at the level of effort compared to even Venenatus is annoying, but it's kind of brain off.
Yeah. Have you ever done like you probably during bingo's done like 5 to 10 man Callisto, like big Callisto?
Yeah, the masses are cool because you get like you make your friend freeze.
Yeah,
and you just click.
Yeah,
you make one person freeze, they do all the work, and then everyone else just kicks their feet up and chills. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. So, that has been it for me. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Oh, I've just been hitting the farm runs hard. I'm 350k herblore from 99, so should be getting that this week.
Almost there.
That'll be cool. And yeah, that's it for me. Shall we move on to weekly updates?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah.
Cool. So this week, we have a lot of nothing. So these will probably go by pretty quick. The first one, probably the most important, pet insurance has been reworked and is officially free.
Yippee!
Which is awesome. Finally. I think since pets came out, this was just a common suggestion because they're just cosmetic and they're rare. Some people go years on their account without getting one, their first one. So I think this is awesome. Do you guys remember, I looked it up, July 10th, when they mentioned free pet reclaims? Do you guys remember when they teased this like two months ago or so?
I remember reading about it.
So that day, I double checked the news blog. It says free pet reclaims, ! On its own line. Myself and many others went and immediately just started dying with our pets, and they were not free yet.
Oh no.
So terrible PR from Jagex. I don't know if it's PR, but just copywriting. Very deceiving. So thankfully, the only thing I lost was 1 million GP, and I learned to read a bit more carefully. But I thought that was funny because I kept seeing people in the clan chat like talking about how they also just had to go pay because they thought they were free now. So
Oh no.
they're officially, I can't confirm, but I believe they're officially free now.
Yeah, I think you get refunded if you have tokens, but you don't get refunded for like all the times that you've claimed your pets, which is
Right.
tons. Like I must have claimed like 30 plus pets over the years, like just wiping and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call out. So they're not refunding all that, but if you bought tokens in advance, or if you got tokens from a dupe pet, hold on, let me backtrack. They're not refunding if you got a dupe pet. They're not giving you 1 mil GP, but if you bought reclaims, they're going through slowly and refunding that GP to you. I don't know who would buy these in advance, but I'm sure
I think
it applies
if you get a dupe pet, it gave you a refund token.
Right.
So
but they're not going to give you a mil for that.
They're not going to, but they're all in the same pool, so I don't know how they could like decide which one was which, like if you bought them or not.
That's why they said they have to do it manually. They basically said we can do it, but it's a pain in the ass. So give us.
I reclaimed mine. I got like 2 mil back, so I must have bought a bunch at some point. Like bought 5. Probably just buy 5 tokens at a time.
Yeah.
So that you don't
just reread it. So yeah.
So you don't have to take your cash stack every time.
Yeah, go visit Probita and see if she's got some money for you.
Get those pets out. Better be bringing them everywhere now.
I saw so Mudkip, I was just watching his video. He put his inventory full of 27 pets and a locator orb or whatever, and he killed himself and they all dropped to the ground, and you just see 28 pets like drop and start moving in like a spider web out from him.
Oh, it's hilarious. I could
so
do
it's
that.
pretty sweet.
Maybe I'll do that sometime.
So he was saying like if you go to a clue in the wilderness, bring like 1 million pets with you so the PKer just sees them like drop out.
pretty funny, honestly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great. But you do have to go through and manually click like 3 times for each pet. So
wouldn't it just be easier if the pet follows you on death, and then you don't even have to stress about it?
Yeah. Also, good point. I went back the July 10th news and update blog. They said we hear you that you want pets to stay with you through death, but we can't do that right now. So instead, we're going to do free reclaims.
Okay, that's fair.
So
Handshake.
So December 2017 or whatever, winter 2017. So yeah, that is the pet insurance. Up next, huge easy escape, probably worst update in the game. They fixed sheep herder.
Dude, that quest sucks. It's the worst quest in the game.
Yep, I can't believe they. I pulled the ladder up behind me and they put it back down. So
it's a grandmaster quest mechanically. It's tough.
Yeah.
If you get those sheep like out of the way, you're in huge trouble. Like you could take forever to herd them back to the pen.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. What are they gonna do next? Fix the Monkey Madness 2 hide and seek on the crates thing?
Dude, I love that game. I love that part. Like my favorite part of Quest. Maybe I'm the madman.
With Quest Helper,
it's a little bit of a hot take.
Lot better.
Yeah, fair enough. It's because I used to play that Harry Potter game when I was a kid with my sister on the PC. It was like a shitty Philosopher's Stone game where you had to go through the library and you had to avoid the ghost, like the forbidden section, or what was it called?
I think I had this game.
Yeah, it was like a timing mini game basically, but there was a bunch of other stuff too. I just remember enjoying it. I like that part of the game. But anyways, that's what Monkey Madness 2 reminded me of.
Good old stealth game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they changed it where if you prod a sheep that's stuck in like a corner, it will actually move to an open tile.
Yay.
So good update, but also brings me great sadness. Up next, the charter ship menu now has numbers. So you can pick, you can press 1, 2, 3 to get to different ports, which is super necessary. Every menu that you can't press a number to go somewhere should be changed. So I love that, probably because sailing's coming and you're going to be at these docks a lot. So fixing charter ships is probably a long time overdue. After that, we have Tithe Farm reward points have been raised from 1,000 to 16,000 as a cap. Did some math. At max efficiency, the cap was changed from 9 hours to 145 hours.
So people can get some fat drops now. I think you could probably get like several million XP drops easily for farming.
Oh yeah. 145 hours. I kind of want to see how much XP an hour Tithe Farm is. It's like 115k.
I don't remember. All I remember is it took me about 10 hours and from 98 to 99 farming to get the full farmer's outfit. But I just did some. I was just doing 20. Maths. I was just doing 20. I wasn't doing the 25 sweaty method. I was just doing 20 seeds.
You could get. Oh wait. Oh yeah. No, this is right. You get a 16 mil XP drop.
That's crazy. 99 farming.
There's got to be more though.
Holy.
But it's not efficient. That's 145 hours. And
someone will
like
do it.
Someone will do it for
2
fun.
hour skill to 200 mil.
Some psycho will get it done.
Someone out there, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be that person.
Have you guys seen the Brimhaven guys? They'll like cash in 100 mil agility and tickets.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Bots.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see someone do the 16 mil XP drop. Up next, I think they were listening to the podcast Heartless. They made some clan chat updates. They've heard us complaining about the clan system.
Good. Well, we're good at complaining, so.
Yes, they've been listening. So loot and pet drops will now show which boss they got dropped from. So I'm guessing drops like a dragon chain body. Now it'll say from Calfight Queen or Thermi.
Yeah.
And there's other examples like that.
Yeah, or like the Dragon 2H and Wilderness will tell you which one it came from.
D-Pick.
Yep.
And And when multiple clan members get a new personal best in a Tob or Toa, the chats will be consolidated, which is awesome because I'm looking down. Wait, is it not live yet? Oh, this one's Chambers. That's why.
Yeah, it does
it's
not
blowing
work
up
for
my clan chat.
Chambers, which is kind of weird. But
Yeah,
Spaghetti could. If
Well,
they took that out, I mean,
every time people
whole
run
game
like
would
a
break.
different level expert or normal Toa, you'll be like, this person has received a new time for a 7-man Toa.
yep.
Yeah,
And it'll just fill the chat. Yeah. Too bad.
it's bad. So I don't know why they didn't do it for Chambers, but Spaghetti could. Sure, there's a good reason. After that, clans can now set automatic notifications about events starting within an hour. I'm not sure why it's just like within an hour. It should be like within login. That'd be cool. But this will be good for like bingo.
I think they had it within like a day, right? So it's like, oh, there's a clan event within the next day. If you didn't know when it was, and now it's saying like, oh, it's starting in the next hour. So I think maybe getting more specific. Is that maybe how it is?
Okay. I don't know. I've never seen them. I'm guessing these look like the poll notifications. Or like the live stream notifications. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's kind of like that, but yeah, when you join the clan chat.
Yeah, WoW had like guild message of the day. So when you logged in, you could see the first message, which would be good for like we could say, oh, new podcast episode out, or sign up for bingo starts, on this date.
Yeah.
Or Merry Christmas, whatever. So maybe one day they'll do that. This next one I don't quite understand. Well, I understand. I don't get why they added it. Clan owners can now choose how often collection log updates are shared, but you can do like 10 collection logs every 5, every 25, or every 50. I get where they're coming from. Someone does a clue stacking and they get 46 easy collection logged. I did my famous 100 collection logs in 10 minutes.
Whoa.
Famous, you say?
Yeah, that was cool. Very famous. Got like 800 views on YouTube. I mean, that's massive.
Hey, that's big. That's big.
Whoa.
Had to be front page.
Well done, Hoyt.
No, that was a really fun little goal, but or like Castle Wars spam, but I don't understand why would we ever set this on 10? Someone's gonna get a T-bow and it's gonna be their 9th log. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that one would theoretically pop though, but
true.
Rare
items and pets are always broadcast.
I don't know. I think at this point, every clan that I've ever seen just leaves them all on.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll leave it.
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm just trying to think of who would use this. But somebody's out there.
You know what?
Let us know in the comments.
The fact that we get the customization, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
That's great. Next, we have all sound effects have been upgraded from 8-bit to 16-bit. It kind of takes like this white noise out of sound effects in the background, just makes them a little more clear. Other than that, you really can't tell. You can't tell to begin with, but I think this is sweet. They're kind of slowly upgrading the game and the back end and stuff no one asked for.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Give us more bits while you're at it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go right to the top.
Hell yeah. And then the Moon Key update, they said blue dragons were 1 in 250. What they meant was brutal blue dragons were 1 in 250.
Surely you just never do
keepies.
them, right? They're like way too rare.
Right.
Brutal
But
blues.
there's a big difference in a blue dragon and a brutal blue dragon.
There sure is.
Definitely.
And kill time.
You better have a twisted
So-
bow or else you're not going for the brutals.
Yeah.
I guess
The,
maybe like elemental weakness now, but still trash, right?
You don't do
Yeah.
them for the keys.
The clogging community was very disappointed because when they saw 1 in 250 of the blue dragon, they were like salivating because it would have seriously changed the meta. So that was a small oversight. You know what? Jagex is human. Whoever wrote that maybe didn't know Brutal Blues existed. Who knows?
Do you guys know
So Blue Dragons are now 1 in 636.
Do you guys know the meta for getting the PVM key halves? Was it the Tease?
Is it 20-man Huey?
Yeah, like max efficient 20-man Huey is technically the best. But if you want to do it solo, it's like Doom Wave 2 resets. So you do waves 1 and 2, and then you reset. Then 1 and 2 reset.
Imagine doing that for hundreds of hours to get the keys.
Yeah. Getting no
Just
loot,
like
no
the,
nothing, just only going for keys.
Sunfire.
I guess you could pull a cloth technically, right? If you're lucky.
I guess so. On wave 2, yeah.
Spike a cloth. You probably would get a few if you're going.
You probably would going that long, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then for the skilling one, you just buy a bunch of shark lure and do sharks apparently. So.
Yeah. I was listening to Lone Gym Rat talk about that. And
yeah.
That might be an oversight. I don't see them. I hope they don't patch it though, because some oversights should just be left alone. But to sum it up for anyone who didn't listen to the Lone Gym Rat Sebe episode, the shark lure was given a rate, and the way you use shark lure is you get to choose how many you use per cast. So you can use 1 at a time, or you can do 5 at a time. So say same speed catching, you just burn through your resource faster. But apparently the drop rate just stacks linearly. So if you use the highest amount of shark lure at a time, your drop rate gets divided by 10 or whatever. So hopefully they leave it in. I don't know who's doing that. Also, shark lure is kind of hard to get for Iron Man, so it's not going to change anything. I assume it's tradable, right, Poplo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. On to the next. This one's good for bingo. Coliseum now sends clan chat broadcasts for loot. Before, the Coliseum chest just didn't put your loot that you claim like in the chat box. Would it show collection logs though?
Oh my, yeah,
it
already does.
It did because you get the quiver collection log.
It's going to be a lot. It's a lot better for bingo.
Dupes, it didn't.
Some clans that I've been in the past doing the bingos, they didn't accept like the screenshots, so it's always been like a bit of a tricky one. It's tough because it's like fun content, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's like if
we do the.
All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we do the Echo Crystal, and I always like really warn people like get 1 million screenshots.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to like confirm. So yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah, if the Echo Crystal isn't like above your valuable drop threshold, if you get one, then it wouldn't show it up. So now it does.
Yeah. Very nice. And last but not least, they are pulling the Gridmaster rewards. I actually have pulled up in front of me. Should we add the Grid Tabard, Grid Swords, and Emblem, and the login screen? What happens if we hit no? Are they going to redo them?
I don't know. I triple note this. I think they're weak. We talked about it last week.
I'm going to say yes for the cape, but the other ones suck.
That's fair.
Just to be honest, so we'll see. I'm interested to see how that pans out. I think they might actually be some of the first polls that fail. So that'll be exciting to see.
Mm-hmm. We'll see
if that happens. Because I mean, they just suck. Yeah, we talked about it last week. I'm really disappointed in the chapel thing because it should at least be something everyone has in their house. Nobody but the World 330 guys and early game Iron Men, if you even have a chapel. So, next we have the Doom CA feedback. Poplo, did you read through these? I want to summarize it for anyone.
Yeah, I read through them. we just can't get away from talking about Doom on this podcast. But
Nope.
basically, they said, yeah, these tasks are hard, and we hear your complaints and your strifes, and too bad. Good luck. Go grind them.
Yeah.
They did change a couple. They changed a couple things. Like the speed task. They said they're not going to change it. They said that the people who had like 8:15, 8:30 times before these came out, like now their PBs are 7:15, and like they've gone and got the GM time. So basically, like the gamers are gaming, I think is what they said. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. There was
Just do it.
Yeah, just go do it. Just do it. There was a complaint with one of the prayer ones where if you did the holy water mechanic, then it would restore your health and prayer, and that would fail the task because you're not allowed to restore your prayer during that run. So what happens now is if you kill the boss during the melee punish phase, if you punch or kick it like with no weapon equipped, then it won't do the holy water special. So that's how you get around that one, is instead of hitting it with a melee weapon, you just punch or kick it and it won't do the holy water. This was like not really needed because this task takes like one run. Go do your ancient mace spec in your house and you'll have 140 prayer, and then just lazy flick everything and you'll be fine. Let's see, what else did they say? The perfect task, they just said, is just supposed to be perfect. So just keep trying, and it's where it's should be. And then the melee only one, I think they're just leaving that one as well. So those were kind of the only two, or the only change, I guess, was that they thought about making. But they just said, "Yep, we know it's hard. So keep trying, you'll get it. They're supposed to be hard." So.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if this is better than saying nothing at all, but I think it is. They're saying, hey, we listened, but we respectfully disagree, and we're not really gonna change them.
Yep. I think it's just,
and they're supposed to be hard.
Yeah,
it's Grandmaster.
It's good to address the issues. So
good to have because when
the feedback from them,
people feel ignored, they lash out. So at least they're like the opposite of being ignored is being directly spoken to and told no. So
yep.
What do you think, Heartless? Would you rather be ignored or have them come out and say we don't really care, but we hear you?
I think this is the best communication angle.
Yeah,
definitely.
People are going to complain about everything, right? So, but I mean, if the voice is big enough, it's, I don't know. They often cave, but I kind of respect this because talking to people who've completed them, they seem like challenging but reasonable. Like you don't want them to be a cakewalk. I mean, it is supposed to be the hardest challenge in the game, so I mean, you may as well enjoy yourself or struggle through it, you know?
I was watching No Monkey. He put a video out, very fresh, talking about CAs and which CAs are good, which CAs are bad as like philosophy. But it got me thinking, a lot of the CAs he said were good were put in well after the boss existed. So like one of them was the Wook's Walk for Vorkath. But Vorkath had been out for, 5 years? More than that? 7 years or something by the time CAs came out. So there's time for this emergent gameplay to come out, and then for them to code the emergent gameplay into the CA. Whereas now they have, what do they do? Wait 2 weeks? Or 1 week? 2 weeks?
I think this one was 3 or 4, but
3 or 4.
Yama was faster,
even then,
sure.
like, it's hard to like. It just kind of got me thinking. It's probably a whole other conversation, but some CAs were easier to make when the boss had existed for years, and we knew how players, could reach a certain time based on thousands of runs versus hundreds of runs. Or not thousands, but let's say millions versus thousands
I think,
or whatever.
I think if the monkey got to decide, the CAs would all be a lot harder.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the greats. I really respect his, especially his thoughts on balance and design, game design. I think he's got some really good takes, but yeah, he's sometimes a little bit disconnected because he's so freaking good. Like, always he strikes me as the kind of guy who's always like striving for a challenge. Which is maybe why he's moved more towards like educational content, but yeah, I mean it is his job, right? And he's kind of like at the top of the game. He's one of the best players. Like he's always looking for bigger and better challenges. Which is fair enough.
His whole video, he starts out saying, "I don't want to make this about difficulty. I want to make it about design." So one of the bad CAs, for example, he said was kill a fire giant because it doesn't require a Slayer level. It doesn't require anything. It's just go kill a fire giant. And some of the best ones were these more emergent gameplay ones, or the Royal Titans, where it's like kill the Royal Titans without killing any elementals, because it makes you change the way you approach it.
But I mean, I guess that's fine, but the reality is you need some easy tasks. Like they're not meant to be, the easy tier is like barely a CA. You don't need to have emergent gameplay in the easy tier of combat achievements. They just need to be, boxes to check to show that you're gaining strength as a warrior in RuneScape. You don't really need to be, wooks walking fire giants and one ticking ghosts to get the easy tiers done. I think that's a little bit far fetched. I think at the higher levels he's definitely right. You want them to be engaging, but at the lower levels, hard disagree. What about you, Poplo? You're the GM.
For easy, I mean, if you got rid of all the easy tasks, you just wouldn't have an easy tier.
Yeah, and I mean,
so,
it's
it's
supposed to be
some of the low hanging fruit, right?
It's supposed to be easy. Like no one ever said it's supposed to be hard. That's the hard tier. Save that for later.
Well, we're talking about this. Mini games are not necessarily combat, so maybe we should address that.
Hey, don't you come after my mini games?
Just saying. Well, why doesn't Guardians of the Rift have any, huh?
Yeah, minigame, I agree with Hoyt on that one. Minigame Diary for sure.
Minigame
Poplo,
Diary.
I'm going to duct tape you to a chair and make you watch BA speedruns.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be in there someday.
Yeah,
you're going for that pet eventually.
Oh, God.
Just saying,
yeah,
Guardians of the Rift CAs win.
True. And give them a Zuck helm.
That's right.
A Guardians of the Rift helm. No, we'll save the full CA deep dive for another day, but yeah, if these Doom CAs got you thinking, maybe go look at No Monkey's video, and it's a long form one. I think most of his are, but he's a polarizing but certainly educated voice in the community. Dude's a beast.
There's a bunch of guys out on YouTube too.
I'd say he's generally well respected. Like people think he's a good, he's a good player and stuff. But yeah, he definitely can.
He likes to stir the pot.
He can have some hot takes, and he's not afraid to say his opinion, which is
he's an entertainer.
Exactly, he has to be.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Oh, future update. They are proposing they add an icon next to your name if you're on mobile, and this would be a setting you can toggle. It wouldn't go on the left side like an Iron Man helm. It would go on the far right. You guys have any feelings about this? Any reason they shouldn't?
I don't know. It's fine.
I mean, not really.
Yeah, it's
you get into your doesn't. I guess 416 and see a bunch of mobile icons next to your teammates.
You see it next to me. That'd be really bad.
Yeah. Nah, leave it out.
I think it's okay because then it's probably more for like the social thing. Like if you're talking to someone in game and they don't answer you, they might be just being on mobile or something, like AFKing.
Imagine getting PK'd by one though.
Yeah, that would feel really bad.
Oh yeah.
It would be a status symbol too for like people who are like doing raids like high level on mobile and tablet or whatever they do.
Yeah.
iPad gamers.
iPad gamers.
I think it's good because it's optional.
Yeah, you don't have to.
If you're getting harassed because you suck, and you're on mobile, then you can turn it off. And people just think you're bad.
Imagine trying to apply to a party on 416 with 0 KC and you're on mobile.
Oh my god.
Kick you out at the door.
Yeah.
Like, who's this guy?
I have League's experience.
Yeah.
League's experience.
It's a tough scene. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
What's next, Hoyt?
Last but not least, we have new plushies available. We have a capybara, and then the sexiest NPC, Thurgo, with a red berry pie. The Varrock stray dog, and then Xanic with a ham cape disguise. Do you two have any merch by your desk? Gaming? Are you guys merch people or no?
No, actually, I don't. I should though.
I have a crocheted Olm sitting behind me, like on the shelf.
Oh,
that's
that's
homemade.
cool.
My sister got it for me because she plays a little RuneScape too, and then she got me an Infernal Cape keychain too for when I beat the Inferno a few years ago. So that's basically it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I don't, but I think if like a t-shirt was done tastefully, I saw one that was like, it said Lumbridge on it, but it really looked like a college. I'd probably do it. It'd have to be like in disguise though.
Yeah. I used to have.
I also think the band tees are cool with like Verzik.
Oh, with like the heavy metal graphic or something, the lettering.
Yep,
that'd be sick. I used to have a mouse pad that was like part of the world map, but
nice.
I don't know where that went. It's
I also have the framed. I do have the framed world map as well. It's really nice. I think that was a gift from my fiance. But yeah, it looks good. It's on the wall. A little bit of merch here and there. But yeah, not escaping the cozy gaming allegations with the capybara, are we?
No. For the community topics, Farmer, FARMRR, reached 110,000 KC at Kriara. It's 27 pets, 300 of each armor piece, and 204 hilts. This man is certainly
it's a different level.
one of the
110,000.
It's a different level. It's a different level of autism
110. Different level.
Yeah. I don't know about this guy. He's always posting too. He's always karma posting on Reddit.
Yeah,
like karma farming. He likes to farm. He likes the attention. I think that's why he's going for the max. Whatever.
There's nothing else you get from that. Is there a cap? What's the cap for those items on the log?
Just whatever the 65.
64.
65,000 or something?
Yeah. 535, I think.
Okay.
It's whatever the bit. It's 65,535. Yeah, Poplo's right. Whatever your Zolro scales.
That's what I did. That's hilarious.
So
I mean, his armor pieces stopped counting at something.
He'll be in the retirement home when he hits that for pets if he can ever get there. Still still raking in the karma on Reddit. For those of us who are still left, those of us who are still alive.
Yeah. We'll have some sick land parties at the retirement home for sure.
Wait, who was that? Did you post the other day someone who had like tons of beaver pets? Was that you that posted that?
Someone did. It was like 200 beaver pets or something. I've seen that guy. He'll destroy the pet and then just keep going.
Holy shit.
Nutty.
And you're like over 200 mil. Like you don't even know how much XP you have at that point. You're just going for no reason except to pull pets and to destroy them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Maybe
it's his efficient way of getting fire making XP with the Infernal Axe.
These are the people that make me love this game.
Yeah, it's true.
And the opposite of people are bots. And it seems like there's a bot nuke. Various whispers, but a lot of people with high scores, like under 1,000, that jumped like hundreds of ranks. I know Moon's Apparel was one. Poplo, you said Yama was the big one that got bot nuked.
But I heard rumors, allegations.
Surely they go through boss by boss, right? Just down high scores, picking out suspicious people, axing them, moving on.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I noticed doing wilderness bosses, I had to hop less for an open world. So I don't know if it was just convenient timing or not, but I did notice bots, but they're all from the same farm because they all had like the same outfit. So perhaps that bot farm didn't get caught and the other ones did. I certainly felt better. So props to them. I know they got a lot of flack from us included on this situation. And there was a huge free-to-play bot fiasco where these bots they knew they were going to get banned in one day. So they would do crafting. They'd make about 3 mil. And then since their account was still restricted and they couldn't trade yet, they would go die in the wilderness. Well, guess what? A bunch of YouTubers, Sir Pugger and Eliop, found this bot farm and these mules who would be there killing, these bots, running up to them, dropping 3 mil. And those two guys and a bunch of other members, they made like over 300-400 mil, probably more. So I thought that was pretty crazy, but those YouTube videos are out there. So you might just get lucky, go peek in a free-to-play world for a bunch of people running with 3 mil, suiciding. All right. That was it for the community news and updates. Was there anything I missed, gentlemen?
No, it looks good to me.
Nope, don't think so.
All right. How to get into raiding is our next topic. I have only done a combined, 300 raids across the 3. So I know a tiny bit. I know enough to get myself in trouble, but that's about it. So, Heartless, do you want to kind of lead this discussion? The first question I have is, where do you start?
Yeah, so I'm assuming most people that play Iron Man, not all, but most, are sort of returning players. Like they've maybe had a main or they're coming back to the game. So there might be a little bit of game knowledge there. There's a lot of assumptions here. So most people that are getting into raiding, you think of mains. At least I do. Iron Man path into raiding is just slightly different. But looking from a mains perspective, once you start to get into the high-level Slayer bosses, that's typically where people start going. That's what I did. I don't know about Poplo. Did you do the same thing? Like you were like 95 Slayer, you like maybe at Hydra or Cerberus, maybe you've already done Barrows and you've surpassed that and you've started to, move into some of the other mid-level bosses. These days it'd be like Huey Codal, Dragon's like Desert Treasure 2. You've started to get these bosses under your belt and you're getting comfortable with the KCs. Maybe you've made a little money, somewhere between like 250 mil, 500 mil, somewhere around there. That's probably when people are starting to look to get into raiding. Yeah, and that's usually what I would recommend. Probably Toa these days is the easiest way to get in.
Yeah.
Chambers is also pretty straightforward. Both of those would be sort of my first stepping stone once you have the basic items that you need. But a lot of those bosses, especially now with the newly designed bosses, they kind of teach you the mechanics you need to get into raids. You just need someone to hold your hand through the first couple. Especially Chambers, there's quite a little bit to learn. So yeah, that's where I'd start. Friends teaching you raids. Of course, making friends is tough. There's other options too, like you can join clans like ours. Obviously, we have a lot of people that'll take you on raids. There are streamers that do like.
How would they join the clan?
Oh, yeah, Discord in the chat below. RaidsBank. Come get involved. That's obviously one way is like joining a clan, asking people in game. If you're a little bit more anti-social though, you could check out some streamers who do teaching stuff. And there's also a giant Discord called We Do Raids, and they'll quite forcefully drag you through your first few raids. And I mean, they teach you good stuff. So those are all like foundational pieces. But yeah, Toa or Chambers would be where I'd begin. And that's where I begun back in the day too. What about you, Poplo? What would be your angle?
Yeah, for this discussion, I'm gonna put all Toa hate aside because
me too. It's actually what it excels at, right?
That's definitely what it's the best at, is teaching you how to get into raids, teaching you gear switching, teaching you prayer switching, stuff like that is going to be the essential stuff of how to get into raids. right? And then as you become more proficient at that, you can add more switches, you can add more gear, you can use less supplies. It kind of builds on itself, and that's more of like the technical, like getting better as a player part. But I know there's a lot of resources out there that kind of have minimum gear requirements, and so those are definitely a good place to start. Like, especially if you're on an Iron Man, like a lot of these raids are very accessible right now with like very low amounts of gear. Even Toa, like now with the new Black Karis gem, like doing low level Toa, all you really need is a stab weapon, any stab weapon, and you can get in there, start doing even 0 level TOAs. Like if you just want to go in and get experience with the boss, if you've never even been into a boss room, like into a raid boss room, then that's like a really good place to start, is just start going for that Black Karis gem. And like that becomes like a really good stab weapon at Toa. And then eventually you can scale it up, maybe grab a fang or a ring, and then kind of build up from there. But yeah, that's what I would say is Toa is probably the best place to start. Chambers is good if you can find some team. I wouldn't start with Tob unless you just want to get carried and have no idea what's going on around you, because a lot of the people who do Tob carries, I know myself included, like just basically tell them to hit the boss and we'll take care of everything else. So you're not really learning in there as much as you would be in a Chambers or a TOA.
Yeah, you need more knowledge under your belt before you get into Tob. You definitely want to get stuck in, but the way the raid ends up working, you can't really, unlike Chambers or Toa, you can have one teacher just take a bunch of people along and kind of carry them through it, and finish and actually complete the raid. Whereas if you just sent Poplo in with 3 new players into Tob, like no matter how great he is, and he's extremely good, he would wipe most likely. Like you wouldn't complete the raid. You need at least 2 competent people, and more likely 3 is the easiest way to learn.
Yeah, 3 is the easiest way to learn at Tob. Also,
3 plus you as the learner, so 4 in total.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you are learning raids, you're probably going at it solo, unless you, like Heartless said, unless you have someone who is teaching you, kind of walking you through it. That's best case scenario. We're happy to do that. There's people in the clan that are happy to do that as well. But Toa is probably going to be the easiest one to learn solo, don't you guys think? I mean, Cox maybe second.
You can stick it on a 0, and it's probably going to be easier than a lot of the Desert Treasure 2 bosses that you've done, assuming you've gotten kind of to that point on your account.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chambers probably arguably similar for a regular, but Olm is just so difficult that, I mean, you'll just die and die and die, and maybe sometimes not even complete the raid.
Yeah, the rooms are easy, aren't they? Compared to DT2, for example.
Yeah, the rooms are going to be easier, for sure.
Yeah, Olm is no joke. What about you, Hoyt? Like, how did you get into it? What's been your experience?
So I did fact check myself. I actually have 400 raids completed, so let's put some respect on my name. Huge
I think
gamer.
You're the only one disrespecting your name here. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, no. It was more ironic. But no, so I have an interesting, I can tell you what not to do. So I still get carried in a lot of raids, and you don't learn anything. I'll have 200 something, KC at TOA, and there'll be a guy who's done 7 by himself, just running circles around me. Because it truly is something like you need to get rid of the crutches, take the ankle weights off, get in there, learn the mechanics. Because I get tons of KC, but if I die, twice, every single one out of 5 rooms or 5 bosses, I'm not getting any loot. It feels good to get KC, but I'm not learning. I'm getting smoked by the guy who learned the proper way. And a big reason I'm not a big fan of raiding, it's not that I'm not a fan of raiding, it's that I'm not in a position to raid right now, is just because it feels like a waste of time when I spend 45 minutes. I do have fun, but my account moves nowhere. Sometimes I actually move backwards because now I've completely put aside the grind I was going to work on just so I could do three TOAs with my friends and get nothing and go to bed depressed.
I mean,
So
that's
the
rating
average
though.
TOA
It's
experience.
like that until it isn't. Like you can go weeks with
Yeah.
white lights, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. There's the Tebow. There's the, the Elder Maul. Whatever it is, you get a big drop, and it's worth it. That's rating. It's like feast and famine style.
Yeah, and I like bossing. Like I'll go, thousands of KC without the drop I need, and I get it. It's fine, but there is a difference in rating where you get this illusion because your KC goes up, but in reality you got no points, you got no contribution. So you weren't actually out rolling on that table, but you were having a little bit of fun. So long tangent, but I would just advise I go to TOA. I would start at the lowest invo that you can. I'd start adding invocations and learning them, what you like, what you don't like. Because that's the other problem. You'll group with someone and they'll say, how do you feel about this invo or this one? And you're like, I don't know, dude. I never set it up. Like, I always get the other guy, I let the other guys pick. And that's not a very good raid partner, right? You want to have this collaboration, understanding. It's just like school. Do the work. And class will be a lot easier than like being nervous you're gonna be called on because you read the spark notes of the book. Just read the book.
And like,
just do
get
it.
stuck into the YouTube videos. There's tons of content out there that'll help you learn raids as well.
But I would say make some friends because I've heard a lot of people burn out just doing solo TOAs, and I haven't done a lot, but I've heard it can destroy your mental if you don't check yourself.
It can be harrowing.
Do some group
It can be
raids.
harrowing once you get up to like a decent level. I think that's right. Making friends is like kind of an inevitable end goal / end game of raiding. You kind of have to get there, and if you're socially awkward, yeah, it can be a little tough. But you can just pop into the room and not say much and still get by. Ask some nice questions. I've raided with lots of people who are like, not antisocial, but quieter folk than myself, which is probably most people, at least less outgoing. But you got to have the right teacher as well. That's another thing. If someone's being a dick to you for making mistakes when they barely know what's going on, that can be one of the single worst experiences and could just shut you down from wanting to raid at all. I've met people like that too. They got a couple KC. They said they were taught by some guy who would just make fun of them or like put them down because they were making mistakes when like they're the learner. Like if you're teaching someone how to raid, you need to be patient and nice to them, and not everyone is capable of doing that. So that can be tough as well. But yeah, Hoyt,
I've seen
you're right.
Interesting. There's this interesting like paradox where the really toxic guys in any game are not the best. They want you to think they're the best. But the guys at the 0.01%, they're like Poplos. They're just nice.
Aww.
They're chill. They want to teach you.
It's the same with
they're good people.
It's the same in anything, right?
But it's like, yeah, any game, anything.
It's the same in the gym.
Obviously,
the biggest guys are often the nicest, willing to lend you the.
Oh yeah, they love to teach anyone who'll listen.
Yeah, anyone who's in there, they have so much knowledge they want to share it. But it's those guys that are like a step below them that have the ego,
the in between,
the egos.
Yeah.
They've got things to prove. It's the same in RuneScape. I think it's just like a bit of a human.
It's a human thing.
A human element. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so keep your eyes out. If someone's really toxic and they claim to be the best, it's possible, but generally those guys aren't. They're toxic, of course. It doesn't matter how good they are. But
best player I've ever played with, noob type by far. Chatted to him a fair bit. Quietest dude, super chill. Like doesn't say much. And he's a big troll. Never overcomplicates anything. Will answer any questions you have. Is really kind. But yeah, he's a super chill dude, super humble.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that toxic Hoyt guy.
Yeah, and then there's Hoyt.
Piece of shit.
Absolute. Don't raid with that guy.
Shit.
He'll kill you at Ulm, and then you'll snipe his Tebow, and he'll never let you forget it.
Yeah, so do we want to... I kind of wanted to jump into this one of like what progression your account should be at, like what quests you should have done. Just kind of like milestones, maybe, that you should be reaching for before you start raiding. there's no like minimum requirements to a lot of these raids. I mean, some of them are quest locked, so you obviously have to get those done. But I don't know, Grandmaster quests aren't like the greatest indicator of like what a raids fight is gonna be.
Grandmaster?
So, yeah.
Oh, you mean it like if you're looking through and you're like trying to see what you should be at?
Yeah, but I mean like the boss fights, they're not really gonna prepare you, I wouldn't say.
No,
But
you
those are
gotta
good
focus on the skills and the gear, right? And the quests.
But yeah, the skills and the gear are gonna be the most important. Obviously, Song of the Elves is like probably the most, maybe the single most like prestigious or like game changing quest. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Galvik is hard for irons,
but
Galvik can be
I
tough.
think
Dragon
those are,
Slayer
yeah,
too.
definitely
I think
Saren.
DT2 has replaced it. Because the bosses
Very true.
bosses have quite a few complex mechanics that you don't even
Frickin'
you might not
rough.
even see in you're not going to be challenged mechanically at Ulm as much as you are as at DT2, for example. I think Ulm is mechanically easier, especially in a group.
Yeah,
Raids
for sure.
raids I think generally more than regular bosses are like a knowledge check than they are like knowledge, gear, stats. Like you need to know what's going
Especially
on.
Chambers.
Especially Chambers. You really need to know how the fight works to be able to feel comfortable and then survive and thrive inside the raid. Like that's why you can take someone who has absolutely garbage gear on an Iron Man if they've have tons of KC and they know what they're doing on their main. They're still gonna contribute and not die because they have the knowledge. And it just takes so much time to build up that knowledge base. I think you got to start with gear and stats.
That's why I like Chambers more than TOA, because TOA is heavy mechanics because you can just keep raising the info. But Chambers, I mean, I was never more overwhelmed than my first Ulm fight. Like,
definitely.
The amount of directions, my brain, probably my first 5 Ulm fights or 10. But once you know what's going on to a degree, it is so freaking chill. And I love that.
That's part of the
I know this
learning
wasn't
curve.
the question, but
No, go ahead.
yeah.
Finish your...
If you're good at like figuring out, if you're good at doing research and game knowledge and like that's one of your strengths as a person in any game you play, Chambers, maybe look into it. You definitely need like a friend to hold your hand and run you through it. But if you're like a mechanical god and gifted, TOA is definitely going to be your jam. So you have to do all of them anyways, but if you're more similar to me, maybe give Chambers a chance.
Yeah,
but
I would say
back to the
I would say between the two raids, going off of your point, like, yeah, TOA is probably going to teach you more mechanics, and Chambers is going to teach you more like procedure, and then I would say Tob is maybe like a combination of both, where there's like, you do the rooms in a certain order, but some of the things that you do are mechanically difficult to pull off. Some of the switches and some of the things you have to do are probably more difficult in Tob.
Hitting the crabs quickly enough so that the pillars don't fall on top of your head is like a mechanical check that you have to pass.
Yeah. Switching into your mage gear and freezing crabs at the right time at Maiden, or, dodging things at below. Like, there's a bunch of things that come together at Tob that I think that's probably why it's most people's favorite raid, is it's a nice mixture of both, where if you have really good mechanics, then like you can bypass or like out damage some of the fight mechanics, and you can, like, that's a big skill expression.
Yeah, whereas Toa doesn't change much, right?
Right, Toa, there's not a lot you can do to like skip things or to use your skills to manipulate the bosses. The bosses are going to be what they'll be. So I think Toa does a better job of maybe teaching mechanics, gear switching and prayer switching. Chambers, I think, Hoyt, you nailed it, is teaches a lot more like procedure of like, you sit outside of Ulm for an hour while someone explains this is how it's going to go, and it's going to be information overload. But the more that you do Chambers, the more you see, okay, after Ulm does this attack, then he's going to do this one next, or this special, and so that's why we hit him from this side, and things start to like blend together and make more sense, like, to you. And so there's that anticipation and prediction factor of like, you know what's going on, you know what's going to happen next, and so you can prepare yourself for what's about to happen next in the fight. And I think that is, like what you said, Heartless, that's probably half of raiding, gear aside, is just knowing what's going on and getting experience within the rooms of what is about to happen, where do I need to be, what should I be doing when that thing happens.
Yeah, and
it seems like Chambers is more proactive and TOA is very reactive, and I don't always want to do reactive content. It's draining.
TOA as well. There's very little difference between as you push. Once you go from a 0 to a 150 is going to be quite different. But a 150 to say a 400, there's not a whole lot of difference. The bosses still mostly do the same stuff. They just all one-shot you, so you can't really make a mistake anymore. It's true though, right? Like you make one misclick at that high of a raid, and boom, you're dead. And they have a lot of health, so you have to do those mechanics longer, perfectly a lot longer than you would at a 150. 150 gives you that wiggle room to make a mistake.
For sure.
Whereas Tob as well, I think, is almost a little easier mechanically, because once you understand, it's a huge knowledge check. Once you understand the raid, you can make mistakes and recover from them. You just can't make too many of them. Which is why, once again, I think it's the perfect raid. I make plenty of mistakes when I raid at Tob as well. You just don't always get punished with a 99 to the dome like you do at a high level TOA. So I think exactly. TOA level 150 though is an excellent raid and is probably beloved by people who run it. So I think that's super cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I would say, so going back to the gear switches real quick, like the best way that I've taught people, or like to like not get overwhelmed and stuff, is to do like a 4-way gear switch. So if you're going melee, range, and mage gear, just bring 4 of like the same pieces. Like bring your weapon, maybe top, bottom,
necklace,
and a cape or a necklace. Yeah. And just keep that the same between all of your different gear styles, all of your different combat styles. And so that makes it really easy. You don't have to do the most damage, but it really helps you to like know how to switch gear, and then it keeps everything nice in your inventory. Put your gear at the top, so that that kind of prepares you for later when there's going to be more complex gear, special attack weapons, stuff like that you're going to be adding into your setup.
Nothing feels worse than being at Wardens or Akka mid-fight and realizing my inventory is screwed.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel the sweat just thinking about it. Like, my face just goes red because I know I can't fix my inventory and stay alive. I'll try to find like a gap of downtime in the boss, like a phase transition to do it real quick. But with 8-way swaps and stuff, like it just isn't gonna work. And a lot of my deaths at those bosses have been because I was trying to fix my inventory. So yeah, I think that's a great recommendation. Just send 4, and guess what? Your DPS change is a whole lot better going from 8 to 4 than dying.
True.
So,
you can't DPS when you're dead.
Yes, you will a little bit,
that's right.
But dying is much worse.
Yeah. It's easier to fix. It's faster to get back into the fight, so you're missing less time trying to switch your gear and you're getting back into the fight quicker. Yeah.
It's another thing about
you can't do DPS if you're dead.
Chambers is nice too, because if you do die, you can just get back in and try again.
Yes,
and that should be that's the
sucks.
expectation when you're a learner, is that when you die, you just get back in, you get more experience, especially Ulm, because really, if you think about Chambers, the real Ulm is the real fight. You spend a lot of the time in there.
Yeah,
that's really what you're being checked on for knowledge and skill. The rooms, it's relatively easy to get through them.
Yeah,
but when it comes to Toa or Tob, especially at Tob, when you die, you don't get any more experience in that room, so it's a little bit tricky. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, and I think you'll find as you're doing Chambers too, like leading up to Ulm, as you're learning, you'll be like, oh, that's it, that was easy. Like the other rooms, that was easy.
Yeah.
Ulm is the biggest obstacle, but like you've probably killed Lizardman shamans before. You've probably done some of that before, so that's maybe a little bit more familiar. But you'll be like, oh yeah, those rooms actually were pretty easy.
And they all have procedures, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
Maradal, you freeze it
Yep.
and then you kill it. You freeze it as it goes to the tree and you kill it and stay away from the mom. It's
right.
pretty simple as far as the rooms go. Yeah, some of them are maybe a little trickier, but yeah, guardians, you put your pickaxe on, you hit the things and step back. It's not overly complicated, which makes it kind of nice to
very
ease
simple.
into as well.
You know what I forgot? One of the hard things of learning chambers was prep, dude. Because you're so embarrassed to like ask again, and like you wrote down these notes about like what to get, 1 Nox and Buchu and this and that, and then the grub, not the grubs, but the cave worms, and see, I'm even forgetting it. Just
It's
trying
a bunch
to
of
say
new
right
items,
now, but
right?
it's convoluted.
It's a lot.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
8 items at once, and it's hard to remember that people have no freaking clue what they're like trying to piece it together mid raid. Everyone's impatient because like you're trying to get in the Olm,
Yeah,
and you asked last time.
it's one thing that Chambers has that the other raids don't. The other raids don't have prep, right? They just have their own resources that you can just buy from, like a point system, which I assume that's the direction they'll go in the future as well. I don't think they'll go back to a prep style like with Chambers.
Yeah, because Chambers tried to have this like skilling angle. I don't know. I didn't play when it came out, but that was the way that they designed it, so skillers could engage with it and get points. But yeah, they could have done it in Toa, and they definitely didn't. So I think instead they gave us the puzzle rooms, which
we won't get next time.
I guess Chambers had.
Right.
So I'll take that back.
We'll have to do a raids 4 episode at some point, but I'm sure we've all got thoughts.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. We'll have plenty of episodes of content. So we talked a little bit about quests. It sounds like I think most of us agree you don't need to do all the Grandmaster quests, but maybe like DT2 would be good.
Yep.
Maybe Song of the Elves, maybe Dragon Slayer 2. Just so you know like what a hard boss is and mechanics. It certainly wouldn't hurt. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It also seems wrong to go ask to do a raid and you haven't done like the pinnacle quest.
Yeah, you got to put your time in.
Backwards.
You got to be like people. There's plenty of people patient out there willing to take you, but they'd much rather take someone who has put in effort to level up their count to base 90s and maybe has like 400 or 500 mil worth of gear and has done those quests. I think you're right. You got to put in the legwork, and then someone sees that you're working hard and are ready to take the next step. They definitely put time into teaching you and training you. There's tons of people that'll do that. But yeah, if you're going in with like base 75s and you're like, I want a Tob, you're probably gonna get snubbed down.
Yeah. So that covers quests, and then we'll kind of breeze through these next sections. So this one should be complicated but easy. What about the melee, the combat stats? We're talking 90, 95s, 99s?
Base 90s is
85.
Base 90s is good. Maybe 85
Okay.
is attack defense.
I'd say 85-ish, probably.
Yeah.
85 minimum.
Okay.
Nobody wants to take a
80 ranger. I think 85 to 90.
80, 85. Yeah. Just go AFK crab for a week. You'll get that.
And that it changes, like, a level 50 TOA is a lot different than, a TOB.
And
So
if you're gonna spend your money on one skill or train one higher, range is the most important.
what about
range
like
and strength.
prayer?
Yeah, strength. Strength is good too. But range you can like
You need
blow pipe a lot of stuff.
piety, definitely.
Minimum.
70.
What's piety, like 71?
I think if you're a main, you should have.
That's
I think if you're a
preserved.
main these days, you should be able to afford rigor and augury, and you should have them both before you start raiding.
Rigor is going to be your biggest upgrade. Best in slot for what it's worth. You're not going to find any one upgrade that is better than upgrading to Rigor. So if you're looking for any gear, other than maybe going up to a Twisted Bow, any other gear upgrade that you're looking for, Rigor is going to be the best one
And
before you get any other gear.
And if you're an Iron Man, you can use the other ones, no problem.
Yep.
Because obviously you need to get the scrolls to be able to unlock those.
Yeah. Or go do
Royal Titans. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Giants have
Royal
the
Titans
new ones,
are
yeah.
like a pretty good stand-in if you don't have. But as a main, I would probably expect that you have the other two, especially given they're like quite cheap now.
Dex is going back up.
climbing.
What about skilling? I know immediately I thought of 85 mining is really nice to have at TOA. Not mandatory, but that's the number you need for like a 1-down.
I don't think you need that.
And then, right, you definitely don't. But if you want some goals, 85 mining, stars exist now. And then chambers, if you're an Ironman, you're screwed. You need like, what, 92? Or just
I think
you
90
need
is overloads.
90 for overloads, but
90?
everything drops overloads. So as an iron, you can get away with rating with 78 herblore.
Yeah, 78, I would say. Base.
But it's
78,
basically a
okay.
hard requirement to rate on an iron at chambers.
And then...
Yeah, I wanted to, I guess real quick, people don't really think about this, but I've come across this when like teaching some chambers, is Hoyt, you mentioned like that the potions and prep and everything in chambers can feel very overwhelming. If that's something that intimidates you and you've done some other bossing, like I would say get really familiar with brews and restores, because that is literally the same thing that's happening in Chambers of Xeric, and it's like the colors match to the yellow potions and the pink potions, and so like yeah, the secondaries can be confusing. That's just kind of how it is, like how you make the potions, but like be familiar with using brews and restores to heal instead of just hard food, because all of a sudden you're going to have all these new potions that you've never used before. But if you can get some experience using brews and restores at some other bosses, they're a little bit more expensive, but like as a main, like just spend the money to use them. You'll have longer trips, stuff like that, but learn how to use brews and restores and boost potions outside of the raid. That'll help you significantly inside for when you're brewed down to 30 attack, strength, and defense, and you're running away from Olm and stuff like that. So just another thing to be familiar with before you start actually going into the raids.
Yeah, the hard part for me was the making them, because I didn't know what herb was the brew, which one was the restore, and then
Yep.
And if you mess that up, you're at home and you're like, oh, you're scared, like you're talking to your parents, like you threw up. You're like, oh, I ran out of brews. Like, what do you mean? You're supposed to tell me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no way to really prepare yourself for that one. Yeah. So everyone's done it. Everyone's had to look dumb before.
Yeah. Any other skilling? It's really nice to have construction so you can build a chest at chambers. Thieving and mining don't have anything with the thieving room, and it's not vanguards, what do I want to say? Guardians. The Guardians room. It's like really minor scales with your mining level.
If you have a dragon pickaxe, you're good to go. Even rune,
I don't
probably.
think there's any other requirements. Am I missing any? I don't think so. Okay.
I don't think for skilling.
Well, so that covers skilling, questing, and then we have some melee stats. We talked a bit about gear, kind of in the big picture. We mentioned some things like a ring, fang. Something I'm always really interested in are the mega rare rebuilds. So I feel like usually the advice is you buy the mega rare for the raid you want to do, but do you guys want to kind of walk through this in a brief way?
I feel like we could do that in an entire different topic.
Yeah, we could save that for another episode.
I mean, I've never done one, but I've helped or seen many friends do them. I would say that the T-bow is the easiest one to rebuild with because it has the most general use. It's also, I think, the most expensive. The other thing about the T-bow is it requires nothing else to be powerful. You can use it with rune arrows and black d'hide and you'll absolutely crush things. But with a shadow, you basically, you need to be in max mage to take full advantage, or you may as well just be using an eye. And then with a scythe, you need to be, I guess these days, there's been a lot of bosses that have been released with a scythe, but if you're going to buy a scythe and do a rebuild, you're going to be at top, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bosses that Scythe is best at that make a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
So,
I
I'd
mean,
say
a lot of that
well,
content
and I
is
better
hard
not catch
too,
these
right?
and rune arrows with your T-bow.
Yeah, but
Amethyst minimum.
I was trying to make a point. I was trying to make a point that it's like the T-bow itself has the power.
Definitely.
Unlike the shadow, which requires the other gear.
Yeah. So back in the day, I did a T-bow rebuild on Poplo back way many years ago. And I would say my recommendation for what mega rare you want to get is T-bow is definitely heavy leaning, but it's like whatever content you want to do the most. If you really just want to sit camp top for thousands of KCs, then get a scythe. If you want to do a bunch of Zulrah, God Wars, stuff like that, then T-bow's good for Zilliana, it's good for Krill, stuff like that. Yeah, and Shadow's good pretty much everywhere. It has a high cost to use with runes. And yeah, like Heartless said, you really want to have full Ancestral max mage for it to be like the best of the best. So I don't know how much that would cost now. That might be about the same to get
the Ancestral set's about $320 and the Shadow is $850. So it would only cost you like 1.2 bill maybe.
Yeah. Yeah,
which is pretty. It might be viable, and you can do a lot of as a shadow user myself. You can basically shadow everything. You don't want to really shadow a top unless you have a lot of experience, but
especially with
you can shadow.
Oh, I was gonna say confliction, but those don't work for it.
For the shadow, no, they just give you the max hit, so you don't need them right away. You could probably get away with you can get away with the Tormented to start. Yeah, if you like doing Whisperer, if you like doing, God Wars, they're always. Stuff like that. Zelra, I think Shadow's a pretty decent buy, but yeah, I personally probably just say for a Twisted Bow.
It sounds like figure out what you want to do first, and then reverse engineer. Pick your poison.
Yeah, the other thing is like you can get away doing Tobs with pretty low level gear and still make a lot of money. Like you can basically, if you have enough experience at that rate, by the time you're doing a rebuild, you might have a little bit of experience there, a few hundred KC, and if that's the case. You can get away with like a Fang and a Whip, a very, very cheap melee setup. I've seen plenty of people do that with a T-bow. And then the Void and the T-bow can kind of carry you through a bunch of the rooms, and then you just whip Verzik and let the other people carry a little bit, and it's perfectly viable.
Yeah, Void is very good.
Yeah, Void's your best friend on a rebuild.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we are the RaidzBank, so we'll be talking about this a lot. We'll want to save some for future episodes when we don't have many game updates. We've kind of been blessed with the last 2 months we've had pretty juicy weeks. Maybe we talked a little bit too much about, Doom or CAs or Yama, but we're just doing our job. But I do want to ask one last Raids question to finish this segment, unless you have anything else to add. One piece of advice will go around. What not to do when getting into raiding for the first time.
We should start with you this time, Hoyt. I'd like to hear what you say about this one.
Well, I did say one, which was, don't get carried because you're not going to learn.
Okay.
Outside of that, what not to do. I've seen quite a few people crash out with egos where they get like a couple hundred KC and all of a sudden they can't be told what to do because they're an expert. So I'd say just keep your ego in check. Not really the best advice, not everyone needs to hear that, but
some people need
there's
to
always
hear that.
a bigger fish. People get competitive. So just because you did a couple hundred of this raid in the last month doesn't mean like you can't be told you're doing something wrong. I've seen a lot of not a lot, but a handful of friendships or crash outs from that. So that'd be my piece.
Okay. I would say it's very similar to you, Hoyt, and it's Iron Man specific. When you start raiding, especially in the team raids, it's extremely easy to compare yourself to other people, and it's not really fair because you might go ultra dry on getting drops, and your friend might have no XP, way less gear than you, and pull a mega rare within the first 10 KC. But that's just RNG. That's just the way the game goes. You got to do it to enjoy it. You got to do it to spend time with your friends. That's the reason you're there. The items will come. They will come. I'm not upset when one of my friends pulls a scythe. You gotta be trying to be happy for them. It's a mentality shift, and as an Iron Man, it's especially important. You will see drops taken from you. It can be painful. I carried 2 guys once. I shouldn't say carried 2 guys. One of them listens, my friend Oxy. Big shout out to my boy. You
don't have to say his name.
No, I did. He's gonna love it. Him, and the submedian, our other friend, we were on a bingo team together, and we were doing some like pre-bingo raids, and we were trying to get the submedian his backpack is level 350, and they can be tricky for your first one. You need to all survive the raid to get there. So we were working on it together, and the boys, they both went down in Baba, which is a classic. I don't blame them for going down at Baba. It happens. Baba used to be a lot worse. So they died at Baba. I finished the room. They were all good. We move on to the next room. No problems. We get through wardens almost at the end. I think one of them died P2 wardens, or maybe P3. I can't remember, but one of them died P3, and we survived, just me and one other guy. I can't remember if it was Oxy or Samedia. Anyways, the point being, we roll into the chest room. I feel like I had hard carried this raid at this point. And boom, there's a purple, but it wasn't mine. It was the guy who had died twice.
Oh my.
And he comes out from his ethereal ghost form. He slides open the chest, and it's a Tumakin shadow.
Oh, no.
That's how it goes.
Oh, God. And then we had our cameras on, so I just hung my head. But I was happy for him. I'm happy he got the shadow. It's all good. I couldn't be mad. It's just the way the game works. But it's a funny story now, and that's where the saying "mains win again" came from.
Mains win again. Mains on top.
But yeah, despite it being tragic, it's still one of my fondest RuneScape memories. So it was pretty funny, pretty hysterical at the time and thinking back. I can't remember my point here, but yeah, generally just go with the flow. Like, RNG is going to happen. You're going to get spooned some places. You're going to get, ultra unlucky at others. Try not to compare your account to others, and just do it for the fun. Do it to hang out with your friends, and good things will come.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
What about you, Poplo? What do you think? What would you say?
I don't know. Maybe this is a hot take, but I would say no. This is fine. What not to do? I would say, just first off, don't show up in like below minimum gear, or like
don't show up in green D-hide.
Don't be
no Ami of Glory.
What?
No glory. Ami.
No glory. Like put some
The
effort.
D-sim.
Put some effort into the account. Like put some effort into. You should know that you are kind of at a raiding point in your account, I think, or really want to learn how to raid to be there, not just like rolling up first time, with your glory and trident, like basic trident and no gear switches. Like, just
don't be a shitter. Got it.
in less words, But and then just don't be offended if someone says no or doesn't want to take you. Don't see that as like any attack to yourself. But like some people just aren't up for teaching. Some people don't want to do carries. And so just like, I don't know, find someone who does. Like it's not a no forever. But yeah, just don't. I'd say don't be offended if someone says no, they won't take you to start. But there definitely are people who will. So,
and God damn it,
it's a big time commitment.
Jump in some voice calls and get stuck in. Don't just sit there by yourself and run your TOAs until you're burned out and your wrist turns into dust. You gotta get in there if you want, especially if you want to run chambers, especially for Tob. You're gonna need to make some friends. So join some Discords, get involved, ask around, see who's willing to take you. You never know where it could lead. Hoyt, Poplo, and I have become good friends partially through raiding over the years. So it's got to start somewhere.
Definitely.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else, or shall we go to the chest room?
Let's go to the chest room.
All right. We'll see you guys right after this short, non-commercial break.
All right, everybody, welcome to the chest room. I will be hosting Poplo. Joined with me again is Heartless and Hoyt. The chest room is a segment where one host just picks a random topic. It can be RuneScape or non-RuneScape related, and surprises the other two with it. They can be games, it can be password manager, whatever you want it to be.
It will never, ever, ever be a sponsored bit. I promise. Even when Shadow Legends and War Thunder and gonna call them to us.
Depends on how much they're paying.
Even if they're
unless they're paying us copious amounts
chess
of
room's
money.
gonna cost them 4x what a regular segment would cost them.
That's right. Maybe we drop Hoyt's YouTube or something and hear
rocket money.
So when I'm talking about breakfast, you're not gonna get surprised by some AG1 make your mornings better. I was genuinely just talking about how shit mornings were.
Anyways, we're still figuring it out. So, but yeah, this week, guys, I want to ask you, how is your lore knowledge? Your RuneScape lore?
Oh God.
Weak. Compared to who?
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
So bad.
I'm scared.
All right. So I've been a big fan of like the games that we've had on here. So I decided to make a game, and how this is going to work is you guys can kind of go against each other or individually, whatever we want to do for points.
For sure.
But yeah, we'll go. Let's do against, but we'll do total points. So I'll explain. But basically, how it's gonna go is we'll do 3 rounds total, and for each round, I have chosen 3 key events. Well, 3 events from RuneScape lore, and you have to tell me what order those events took place.
Okay.
So you don't have to tell me what they are. I'll go into what they are and stuff like that. But you have to use your knowledge and sometimes context clues or lack thereof, and decide what order you think those events should go in. How it happened in the RuneScape universe in Gielinor.
Okay.
So, all right, does that make sense?
No,
any questions
Hoyt's
before we
gonna
jump
cook
in?
me on this one. There's no way.
We'll see if I understand.
Hoyt sounded
the
pretty
game.
confident. Yeah.
Anything.
Wait, do you understand how
I
this
think
is
I
gonna
do,
work?
but that's the dangerous part.
Yeah. All right, and so we'll just do 1 point for each one that you correctly ordered, in the correct order, and then at the end, just whoever has the most points will be our winner on the chest room. And I'm still waiting for Heartless's bond from the first week that we did this, but
We'll double
maybe
or
we'll
nothing
do
at
that.
some
Maybe
point.
we won't. So we'll double or nothing.
It's been
All right.
nothing.
So I've got 3.
You can double nothing if you want. Yeah.
Double nothing. All right, we're putting it all on the line here for the chest room. Okay, so the first round is I have 3 battles, and you have to tell me what order these battles took place. So the first one is the battle for the eye. The second one is the battle of the salve. And the third one is the battle of
What the
Ulek.
hell is Ulek?
So first off, do you guys know or have any ideas of what you think any of these lore things are? Maybe, or well, maybe that's giving too much. Maybe that's giving
Yeah,
too
I
much
can't
away.
help
Maybe you'll
them.
say your.
I know all about all 3.
Hoyt, do you actually?
All right, yeah.
No.
Hoyt, you want to start? You want to start then?
I was gonna say whatever.
I can
Hoyt
repeat
says.
them if you need me to.
Okay, so it was I, Salve, and Ulak.
And Ulek. Yes.
Okay. I'm really just gambling. Salve is the only one that rings a bell. I'm going to say I happened first, and then Salve, and then Ulak. That's my order.
Okay. Heartless, do you have any ideas?
No, I don't even know what Ulek is. The only thing I know about lore is there's like something to do with 3. There's a couple ages, right?
There are ages.
At least 3.
So there's
Fuck,
5
I thought there
ages.
was only 3. Oh god.
There's
All I know
5.
is 3rd age, and that's where the kite shield was made. I'll go with Salve was first, so that the vampires were sent over there like a long time ago. And then I'll go
Spoilers.
Ulek second, and then what was the other one?
Eye.
The Battle of the Eye.
And then I'll go that. I'll go that most recent because it was the most recent quest. Let's go. I'm clinging to anything.
Okay. All right. So, first thing that happened took place in the early Third Age, sometime during the God Wars, was the Battle for the Eye.
All right, Pog.
So Hoyt got that one right. Basically what this was is, yeah, you're right, Guardians of the Rift. What happened was Zamorak's forces came and attacked Saradomin, who was protecting the Stone of Jas, because the Zamorak intel found out where they were hiding the Stone of Jas. And they met near the Stone of Jas here. And because there was the power of the Stone of Jas, one of the commanders of the Saradomin army cast a really powerful spell, but it was warped by the Stone of Jas and opened up into the Scar, which is where all those abyssal demons, protectors, stuff like that come from, the abyssal leeches. And basically it sucked everything into the Scar, or some people escaped, but everything was basically, both armies were reduced to nothing, and then they escaped, and that's how we got the Rift, the Scar, and the Temple of the Eye was built there.
Oh yeah.
So that was the first thing. So Hoyt got a point for that one.
Yeah, I was thinking the Eye, because it had all those demon creatures and stuff, had to be some ancient shit going on. So
yeah,
I got lucky.
Yeah. So that was the Third Age. So that was in the Third Age. So I guess overarching, the first age is like just the gods, the creation of RuneScape. The second is when there starts to be some habitants and some creations on RuneScape, some very powerful artifacts created in RuneScape. Thinking, and then the Third Age is God Wars. Fourth Age is known as, I think the Fourth Age is the Age of Man or something, where there's more, less like spiritual creatures and more finite creatures. And then I think we're currently living in the Fifth Age, so kind of past all that stuff. So there's big overarching history there. The second one in this first round was the Battle of Ulek. So Heartless gets a point for that one, putting that one second. And this was in the late Third Age. The Battle of Ulek was a conflict between the city of Ulek and the Zamorak forces, led by Balfrug Kriath, which you will know if you will recognize if you have ever killed.
He's the black.
Krill.
He's the
Bullfrog.
he's the one that's not a demon, right?
He's the he doesn't count as the demon task. I'm pretty.
He's a
no, he
black
does.
demon,
Oh,
not
he's
a
a
greater
black
demon.
demon, not a greater. Damn.
Yeah, that's right. So not a lot of information is known about this conflict, but it happened in the Karhidian desert, towards the end of the Stone Age. But the city was destroyed. The Zamorak forces won that battle. And then that leaves the third is the Battle of the Salve. And neither of you guys got that one right. So that happened during the Fourth Age, and the Battle of the Salve was the final battle of the Misthalin Mauritania War. And that's where the vampires and everyone came to cross the River Salve. And that's where the Temple of Paterdomus was erected, and the line was drawn there where those forces could not cross the holy River Salve, basically.
So,
well done. You each have 1 point at the end of the first
the
round.
ruins of Ulek are where you go in DT2 on the far right east coast. There's like I think there's like a little mini boss fight and stuff in there. Scabrous Dungeon. I had to look and see if it was in the game. Cool.
So there is a stone tablet down there that you can examine, that you can read or examine.
Okay.
That alludes to the Battle of Ulek.
Very cool. Good shit.
Nice. Good job, guys. Okay, we'll move on to round 2. And so for round 2, we've been talking about raids, I figured we would see how you guys do with Great Kourend lore timeline.
Uh-oh.
So, 3 events for that happened on Kourend, the kingdoms there. So the first one is the War of the 5 Houses. There's 5 houses on Kourend. The second one is the Banishing of Xeric.
Okay.
And the third one is the Coup of King Shazian III. And King Shazian III was one of the most significant kings. So that's why I picked this one.
Okay. Heartless, your turn to go first.
So, Hoyt, you started. Yeah, so Heartless, why don't you
Can
start?
you remind me of the first one?
Yep, the first one is the War of the 5 Houses. The second one is the Banishing of Xeric. And the third one is the Coup of King Shazian III.
Thinking. This is tough.
It's alright, take your time. This is tough. They happened in closer proximity to each other.
Alright, so gotta assume that the banishment of Xeric was first. Then the king, then the houses get banished. Wait, is that right? Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing.
Hoyt? Same thing for Hoyt?
Yeah, it was banishment, then coup, and then 5 houses, right? Yeah.
Yes, that's what Heartless said.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess, so you copy him.
All right. So first thing that happened in the actual
we're screwed.
game is the Coup of King Shazian III. So basically what this this is very early on in the Kingdom of Kourend. The Twill Accords was like the how everything was divided up and how the houses were going to live together. But King Shazian annulled the Twill Accords and basically tried to take over as the head of every house there. They were rotating who was going to be the leader of the nation, of the whole thing. Every 5 house, or every house had its turn, all 5 houses. And King Shazian wanted to take over. And so they basically they threw him out of power because he wouldn't give up his throne. That was the first thing to happen. The second thing was the Banishing of Xeric.
Damn.
And I won't go into all of this, but basically what happened was Xeric was one of the kings and he started fiddling with the Dark Altar. Well, that started to corrupt him and slowly taking over, turning him evil. And they banished him, the next king banished him because didn't like what he was doing, trying to be immortal. And they banished him to Mount Quidamortem. And basically him and his whole party entered into the chambers of Xeric and encountered not the monsters there, but just so many unexplored things, and had so many quarrels that Xeric actually turned people of his party into the monsters that you find in the chamber of Xeric.
Wow.
So Tecton was actually like one of his followers. Vasa Nysterio was his high priest, for example.
Shit.
So, and then they went to the bottom, they found the Great Olm, and they defeated him, and nice. Got the T-bow.
Hey.
So
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Finally, the War of the 5 Houses. So you guys both got that one correct. So point for both of you guys. And this was basically a civil war in Kourend where all 5 houses were at war, and it only lasted for 20 years. But that's when King Kardest the First took the throne of Great Kourend. So,
all right.
Anyways,
2-2.
Not bad. 2-2.
2-2. You guys are learning
round.
about the lore today. I always think it's pretty fun.
I dig it.
Yeah, we'll do a tiebreaker round, and if you guys tie, then it is what it is because this is all I got.
Yeah, there's a lot of prep for these. These are
Well
great.
done.
yeah, this was really fun. It was fun to look some of these things up. These are all on the wiki too, so if you just type in OSRS lore, it'll take you to all the links for all of these things. But for this one, I'm gonna go way back in time to the Zarosian Empire. And so 3 things that happened during the Zarosian Empire. So the first thing was the construction of the city of Sentistin. I think I'm saying that right. Sentistin. And that's a teleport on the ancient spellbook that takes you to the dig site.
Mm-hmm.
So the construction of that city. The second,
that's where you go
is
to
the discovery
kill skeletons for Turiel skipping. Sinisting.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. That is the ruins of the city of Sentistin. Mm-hmm. So spoilers, but that city is no longer standing. Damn. Second is the discovery of the Stone of Jas. And the third is the betrayal of Zaros. So, Heartless, I guess you started last time, so we'll have Hoyt give his guess. You can take a minute to think.
And the first one, I know is Sentistin, whatever. Was it the building of it, or what was it specifically? Is that existing?
Yeah, it was the building. The building.
Okay. I'm gonna say the is it the, why am I blanking? The Stone of Jas was one, right?
So it's the construction of Sentistin, the discovery of the Stone of Jas, and the betrayal of Zaros.
Okay, so discovery, Stone of Jas, and then construction, and then betrayal. That'd be my order.
Okay.
Sentistin is the dig site, right?
Heartless?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Right.
Well, usually dig sites are built after you find something. So, maybe I'll flip it. So I'll go just in case. We'll go. They built the spot. They found the stone.
Okay.
Then the other thing happened. Yeah, the betrayal's got to be at the end. Like, come on, that's got to be at the end.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you guys both got that. The betrayal is the last thing that happened. So, what happened there is Zaros, which is basically the god of the Majorat, above Zamorak. Basically, the betrayal of Zaros, Zamorak, that god, attempted to kill Zaros in his throne room in the city of Sentistin by using the Staff of Armadil. And so they found the Staff of Armadil, and Zaros and Zamorak fought, and Zamorak was able to stab Zaros, but he didn't die. He instead used the staff that he was impaled with to also impale Zamorak. And somehow all of his power and his magic basically crossed from Zaros' body and acted as a conduit to like empower Zamorak to take over.
Damn.
So that was the betrayal of Zaros.
And that was last.
And that was the third thing.
Okay.
Yep, that was last. So the first thing to happen, one of the old things, at the very beginning of the Second Age was the discovery of the Stone of Jas. So Hoyt actually got all three.
Take the W.
Take the dub.
You said 2 bonds from Heartless, right?
So
hey, I never agreed to a bond for this one.
It's doubled.
Yeah, that's
double it and give it to the next person.
Yeah.
See how high we can get it.
Oh boy. So the Stone of Jas was from the First Age, one of the old artifacts, but it was discovered by a Fremennik seer by the name of V. And that's all we know about him. Basically, he found the Stone of Jas and used it to create the lunar
what a beast.
spells.
Thanks for Bake Pie, guy. I love it.
Yep.
Love that spell.
He decided to use it to make pies and make planks.
What an asshole.
What a guy. And talk to people
Thanks
far
to those
away.
hundreds of hours of picking up molten glass, guy. I love it.
Hey, NPC contact slaps.
Yep. It's V's fault. Yeah, that's got some helpful. It's definitely helpful. and vengeance. I don't know why he
It's
was
probably
so-
from all those
so
pies
angry.
and glass that he made.
Yeah, probably. And then the middle thing was the construction of the city of Sentiston, which was erected sometime during the Second and Third Age. And like I said, the betrayal of Zaros happened in the throne room, in Zaros' throne room in the city of Sentiston. So,
All right.
well done, Hoyt. You take this week's chest room.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you guys want to go read up all about the lore, very interesting.
Lore.
I really liked doing this
I
one.
think we need
So,
a Poplo.
Go check it out.
We
on
need
the
a
wiki.
Poplo audiobook.
Yeah, Poplo lore buff.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so
Christmas episode.
too much reading
Just
for
swing
me.
around your lore knowledge at
can't
the
read,
office
so it'd have
next.
to be
That's right.
Yeah.
As someone who spacebars all the quests, this was all very new to me and very fun to read. And it's like, oh, you would have read about this in this quest, and I was like, yeah,
Right.
about that.
All I
You're right,
remember
I
is
did.
the
There's some good
Stone of
YouTubers.
Gas was in Gothic Sleep's quest. It was that big thing at the end, right? The big. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yep.
the
You
only
touch
thing
it
I
and you
know.
get super powerful.
This was a
Yeah.
tough segment for me. Not a
Yep.
good look today. But at least I learned who I can blame
Me
for
either.
the lunar spell book.
Yeah.
There you go.
Vrenic V, that bastard.
Fremenic V.
Oh,
So-
V
Yeah,
shield.
V shield.
V's
Also
shield.
a trash
That's the
item
one.
that I've thrown out.
What?
Yeah, you'd think if he had all power
Yeah,
and
you'd think
might, he
so.
could make
You
a
think
better
it'd be better
shield.
than a mirror.
No.
You think it'd be better than the
Maybe that
mirror
was
shield,
before
but
he-
it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, thanks for joining us on the chest room. That is all we got for the week. Like what we said before, come hang out, join the clan, join the Discord. Links are in the description below. Do you guys have anything else you want to add for this
Yeah,
week?
I want to join the clan.
It's Raids
How would I
Bank.
join?
You gotta use our
All right.
Raid Shadow Legends key. That's gonna be in the Discord link.
Code
Yeah.
Raids, RAIDZ.
No, it's RAIDZ.
Heartless, can you explain that?
BA.
It's Zed, but fair enoch.
Yep.
Z.
Okay, we'll have this
Right.
debate another day. You guys cutting all the U's from all of your
Alright.
words, it doesn't make any sense. Spell color
Yeah, well, at least we don't bow
COLOR.
down to no fucking England, right?
Oh God, here we
We fought 'em to
Here
the
we
death,
go.
so we
Let's
can talk
recreate
like
the
how we
Tea
Alright,
do.
and
Party.
since we're getting
Oh, no.
slightly racist, then let's
Let's get outta here. See ya.
See
Have a
you
good
guys.
week. See you guys.